In the past couple of videos, we've been discussing the strategic map, the format wars, the speedboat strategy, and the need for future-proofing. But the feedback I'm getting from management and label execs is loud and clear. Pat, the strategy sounds great, but show me the money. Fair enough. I'm Pat Mavromatis. I've mixed iconic records like Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly and Feel Like Making Love in Dolby Atmos and helped generate over 600 million streams. And in this video, I'm going to break down the numbers behind immersive audio. We're going to look at the specific scenarios where investing in Dolby Atmos, Eclipsa, or Auro-3D generates a positive return, and just as importantly, the scenarios where it might just be a vanity expense, but what a beautiful vanity. To take this a step further, I have built an online tool called the Revenue and ROI Optimizer. Later in this video, I'll show you how it works so you can plug in your own data to help you make a green light or red light decision on your release strategy. This is version 1, by the way, so for anyone that uses the tool and has any feedback, please send it my way. Before we run the math, we need to define the asset value. Let's look at the tangible benefits of adding immersive deliverables to your release portfolio. When auditing a catalog or a new release for immersive potential, don't just look at the cool factor. Look at 3 specific value pillars: the immediate revenue, the market reach, and asset longevity. So let's break down exactly what you are getting when you invest in a multiple deliverables immersive mix package. Pillar 1 is revenue and reach. That's the hard cash. So let's talk about cash flow. The most direct financial benefit comes from Apple Music. Apple is actively incentivizing spatial audio adoption. A professional, compliant Atmos mix doesn't just sound better, it unlocks that 10% royalty bonus. If you are or you represent an artist doing significant volume, that 10% is not a rounding error. It is pure margin added to the bottom line for the exact same intellectual property. Also, an optimized spatial mix significantly increases the probability of placement on Apple's high-traffic editorial playlists. That is free marketing real estate, my friend. But streaming isn't just Apple. Let's talk about volume. Besides Atmos, we optimize your immersive mix for Eclipsa audio. This is the deliverable that gets you ready for YouTube, world's largest video platform. YouTube doesn't support Atmos, but it does support Eclipsa. By delivering this format, you expand your reach to 2.7 billion potential users with a true 3D experience, ensuring you aren't just leaving the world's biggest audience behind. On to Pillar 2, market position. This is the brand. Let's look at brand positioning. Your established fan base is your most valuable asset. But in 2026, attention spans are the currency. An immersive mix offers a superior lean-in listening experience. It draws the listener deeper into the artistry, increasing retention and engagement. It signals to the industry that you are an innovator, not a follower. By being a part of the immersive revolution, you're pushing those artistic boundaries too. This differentiates you from the sea of stereo-only releases and attracts the listeners who are actively seeking the best sonic experience. Now let's go to Pillar 3, asset longevity. This is the legacy. A much critical pillar, future-proofing. A stereo master is a depreciating asset. It works today, but it is technically limited for tomorrow's hardware. An immersive mix, and in particular, the extended multi-deliverable package that we provide, is a secure legacy asset. By investing in this now, you ensure your catalog remains compatible with VR, AR, spatial computing, and whatever other format comes next. You are adapting seamlessly to the future without having to pay to remix your catalog every 5 years. So here is the bottom line before we open the optimizer calculator. For an established or growing artist, an immersive mix bundle isn't an expense. It is a strategic investment. It protects your career longevity, it maximizes your current revenue yield, and it deepens that audience engagement, which is key. But does that mean every song needs an Atmos mix? Let's leave the art out and look at the math to see exactly when you should pull the trigger and when you should wait and maybe prioritize investing in audience development instead. Let's get to the optimizer. Quick disclaimer and explanation of how this works. This is a financial model that makes certain assumptions. For all streaming, the model takes an average of all the streaming platforms and their different tiers. Spotify Paid pays more per stream than Spotify Free. Tidal pays more than anyone else, besides the new Auro-3D platforms, but I'll get to that soon. And so on. It also takes into consideration the market share for each platform. For Eclipsa, through my research with friends at labels, consultants, and so on, the optimizer uses a projected value of increased algorithmic visibility and retention, leading to more views and streams. And for the Auro-3D platforms like Auro Masters and Pure Audio Streaming, which are utilizing a credit-based system, the optimizer uses projections assuming a specific engagement rate, which is 0.1%, from that superfan segment. All these are spelled out in the terms of use for the optimizer, and of course, this is for informational, educational purposes only, does not constitute financial advice, results may vary, yada 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 yada, and all the other legal stuff, so you won't go telling people, Pat told me I would make 50K, and I made 1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's look at some case studies. We are going to run 3 specific scenarios. The names of the artists and other info will be blurred out to protect the innocent. Scenario A, the catalog giant, the big artist. So let's go into our optimizer and we have the number. First of all, this was for 11 songs, 11 tracks. So we have the total count, 260, 813, 085. And check out this number. This is the untapped immersive audio revenue opportunity. This is how much money was left on the table. This includes all the optimization gaps I spoke about before. Let's look at this data here. Okay, this is the opportunity with just the Dolby Atmos mix. This is adding the Eclipsa audio on the YouTube, and this is adding the Auro-3D. The verdict: if you are in this category and you aren't doing this, you are literally burning money. This is financial negligence. Scenario B, the momentum developing artist. we have a 5-song EP, 5-track EP that altogether has 7,367,190 streams. The number of tracks here is 5. So this gives us the untapped immersive audio revenue opportunity of 3.5K pretty much, or a projected ROI of 71%. Let's look at the projected ROI, the impact factor. This number represents the capital recovery rate in the first year. It basically answers the question, how much of your invoice does this found money pay for immediately? So, in this case, with our 5-song EP, the new revenue covers 77% of the mixing bill in the first year alone. In a year and 3 months, you break even, and everything after that is pure profit. And let's look at the info by itself. This is just the Dolby Atmos. This is with the Eclipsa audio, and this is with the Auro-3D. Scenario C, the smaller developing independent artist. Let's say it's a new release, right? And they want to do 1 track, and they project that they are going to get 50,000 streams. Okay, so let's see how that works. You see the estimated immersive and stereo mix costs here for one track, for a projected target stream volume of 50,000. Just the Dolby Atmos, the immersive opportunity is $10. So it really doesn't make any sense. You see the projected ROI is you would have paid for 1% of your invoice just by doing the immersive mixes, right? And the break-even point is long-term, is over 5 years, right? It adds a little bit with the Eclipsa, a little bit more money coming in with the Auro-3D, but we're talking about $24. Now, the good thing is, if you work with us from the get-go and we get the stereo, your stereo master from the Atmos mix, in other words, we're doing immersive first, we're approaching these immersive first, the extra mix stereo fees would add to that number, to the opportunity gap, right? So all of a sudden you save all that money because everything will be included in one fee. If your only motivation is immediate financial return, just stay in stereo. Spend that money on marketing and growing your fan base. But I want to move away from the optimizer and all this for a second. On a personal note, immersive audio stole my heart. I invested in building a new immersive studio without even having heard any immersive audio at that point. Just the idea of it mesmerized me. Crazy? Maybe. But you see, the immersive palette is so exciting and it surpasses all of stereo's limitations. Artists are no longer restrained by stereo's narrow field and limited scope, trying to fit all their musical prowess and inspiration between 2 speakers. Think 100 times the difference of what the mono to stereo transition was. They now have all this space around them to experiment, keeping it as real or as abstract or surreal as their inspiration dictates. So to the artist CEO in scenario C, the one who the math says, don't do it, I have a different question for you. Do you want to be an innovator, an artist on the cutting edge? Do you want your debut album or song or EP to sound like it was made in 2015? Or do you want it to sound like it belongs on the Meta Quest or the Apple Vision Pro or anything else that will come out by 2030? Sometimes the ROI isn't just cash. The ROI, the return on investment, is the goosebumps your fan gets when they hear your song in the dark and it feels like you are in the room with them. That feeling builds superfans, and superfans build careers. So you have a choice. If you are a label managing a massive catalog, do it for the math. The ROI is undeniable. If you are an artist building a legacy, do it for the art. The experience is unmatched. Ideally, you do it for both. If you want to run your specific numbers through the Revenue and ROI Optimizer, I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to discuss how we can bring your catalog and new releases into the 3D audio space, let's talk. I don't just want to mix your record, I want to help you build an asset that pays you back financially and artistically for the next decade or longer. So click the link below to book a discovery call or spend some more time on the tube and watch this video right over here.